Hello, welcome to my daily watercolor practice video. Every day I practice something different in watercolor, basically focusing on improving my skills. And today we will be practicing creating distance in watercolor painting. So we're going to do very simple exercises. So I hope you join me. Grab your paints, grab your brushes, grab your drink. I've got coffee with me. And we will start with very simple lines and then compare the results. I wrote down what actually, just to like not forget anything, what makes things look more like they're in the distance. So one of the big ones is color. It is lighter and more cooler in the distance, especially if you think about like a landscape. You know, the atmosphere will make it look cooler, paler, and also more fuzzy. So that's why soft edges as well, and less details, because obviously, you know, details are more, we can mostly see them like very close. So I will try to practice bearing these things in mind. The first exercise, I will just focus on color. I'm just going to wet my palette and I will just create very simple lines. I hope you join me because I find it really helpful to just practice my skills. And you know, because I keep it all together in one sketchbook, it's also really nice just to see you know, like the improvements you've made. And I also share all the mistakes with you, so that, because I think that's kind of more honest, you know. I'm also just learning, I'm not an expert, but I am trying my best to get better, and I hope you join me on the journey to do that. So the first exercise I want to do, I will only focus on the color, not even the lightness, just on the cool and warm. So I will do lines in blue, then in yellow, and then in red. Just 3 colors, and I will not even, let's just make sure I'll pick same color for everything. So I'll do Windsor blue, cadmium yellow, and maybe alizarin crimson. Sorry about the light, by the way. The sun keeps coming out and kind of messing up my lighting. So I just want to do this very simply. I'm using a flat brush because it's easier to create sharper lines with this, but you can use a round one, whatever. I guess I'll just do 2 lines of each, and we will see if this will make any difference at all. Let me just bring this a little closer. There we go. Cadmium yellow. Oh, I didn't clean my brush very well. Keep doing that. Let's just try to that became a little green now. Okay, so let's see if this will make any sort of appearance of distance already. It might not. A little bit more water. Might not kind of have a big impact. But generally, reds, warm colors are advancing colors, so they appear closer, and cool blue colors appear more in the distance. So there should be some sort of impact of that, but we'll see. So very simple, very chill, just some exercises to get us going. Okay, so this is the first very simple exercise. I'd say it does seem like the red is closer, but now I want to make it more extreme, and I will try to incorporate everything. So what I need to focus on is okay, so soft edges and less detail. I will wet the page, and then I'll start at the top, so the softer edges should be at the top, and then hopefully it will dry by the time I get here. So wet page will create soft edges, which will also kind of have less details, I guess. I can't really add any more detail to the lines, I guess. And also I will need to make sure that the colors are actually lighter, so I will use more water. Okay, so first things first, let's just wet the page. My brush seemed to be a bit stiff for some reason. Okay. It might seem like, oh, what's the point? Doing this is just lines. But I've been doing these exercises. It's my second week of doing this. We're on day 12, I believe. And I'm just really finding it so helpful because it also kind of helps my brain to just remember these, you know, these different like principles, different, yeah, just things that impact how your watercolors turn out. Just practicing is just, it's easier to remember something if you actually do it rather than just read about it or know about it, because you know it's something you probably heard about a lot of these, but actually practicing it will kind of make it stick in your mind a little bit more. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is pale. Maybe I used a little bit too much water, but yeah, very pale line that's fuzzy. Then I'll make it a little bit darker. Sadly, I lost my clip for these pages, so I'm gonna have to improvise. Kind of trying to keep it paper down. Okay, that's looking a little bit better because this one's the most fuzzy. Now paper is starting to dry a bit. I'm going to switch to yellow. I think I can go now for a bit darker yellow. It doesn't have to be too light, but let's just clean the brush very well. Okay, so now I'm doing stronger colors, not too pale. Still a little bit pale. Is that dry enough? We'll see. I'm okay with it being a little bit fuzzy still. There we go. It's getting not as fuzzy. Just going to see how the paper looks. It's pretty much dry now. Okay. Sip of coffee. And then even stronger yellow. Right, let's try this. Okay. And then red. I might do 3 lines with red because I have quite a lot of space left. So this is now pretty much dry. Almost. Now a little bit darker. And now I'm just going to go with a super dark, almost pure red. Now I think that's a great representation of creating distance. It's definitely more punchy than this one. Those soft lines and yeah, the fuzziness, the paleness of the color, especially this pale blue. This is kind of looking a little bit sameish, I guess. Maybe if I had a green in between or something, because the yellow is kind of still a little, it's going forward when it's still kind of a little bit dark in the distance. But I didn't want to use too many colors. But anyway, I think this is pretty nice representation. It kind of definitely makes it stick in my head how I should plan the paintings. So next thing I want to try is maybe just layered mountains, having these principles in mind. But I have to wait for it to dry, and then we'll start on the mountains and see if we can create distance. Okay, now I will try to create a simple painting. But by the way, I ran out of washi tape, so I'm using clear tape. Don't judge me. So one thing to remember is that actually, usually when you like paint, for example, landscapes, the distance is actually not at the top of the page. That's not where the furthest distance is. Usually, like it will be where the horizon line is. Yeah. So, for example, we have the sky, the top of the sky, the top part that will actually be closer. So what I will need to try to do is get the sky to look like this is the kind of foreground. This is like, not a foreground, but like the sky is closer here, and then gradually kind of show the distance in the sky. And then I will paint mountains. I haven't practiced doing this painting, so it might turn out disastrously. We'll see. We'll just see. Okay, so for the sky, to show the distance, the best way to do it is to have a darker, like blue at the top and then fade it. So I will just wet the page. I'll do it kind of roughly, to be honest, because it's the mountains really that will be the center of attention, I guess. Okay. So I'm just, should I use this brush? No, I think I'm going to use it a little bit smaller, maybe this one. Okay, so I'm starting with quite a thick Winsor blue at the top. I'm just going to let it go down. And with the wet brush, just kind of pull it down a little bit. Okay, something like that. But I don't want to have this edge, so I'm completely like, there we go. Should do it. Now, another thing that we can do to show the distance, this is a bit messy, it's not really that straight, but it's okay. Another thing we can do is use a piece of some tissue, like a kitchen towel, and then I will create clouds, and I will make them bigger at the top and then gradually smaller. Although the blue is, there's not that much blue. Don't know if I can even make them in the distance. We'll see, we'll see. Should I add a little bit more blue? I'm worried to mess it up. Okay, I'm just gonna go in. Right, so one big cloud here. It's already drying. I left it a little bit too late. Oh, I think it will be fine. Then a little bit smaller somewhere here. And then maybe a few tiny ones. That will do, I think. Later I will add some detail to this one as well, a little bit of shadow. And I'm just going to mop this up. There we go. Okay, it would be better if it was just laying flat. Don't want it to mess up. But basically I will need to let this dry. Actually, no, I don't need to let this dry because I need to add mountains, right? Okay, I need fuzzy mountains. See, I'm clearly not prepared for this painting. Okay, so they need to be pale and fuzzy. So while this is still wet, I'm actually thinking I might need to wet it a little bit. But this time, it's not going to be the sky. It's actually going to be the mountains. Okay, let's see. No, this one's too big. I'll use a smaller brush. Okay, so pale blue, not too dark, because paler, lighter color in the distance, and fuzzy and light. And I will just even them out. There we go, and that's it. I'm going to let this dry. And then when I create next layer, it's going to be, well, I'm going to almost let it dry. I will need to wait for it to dry a little bit more. Although now I think about it, I haven't actually wet the page. Like this is actually dry here. This is such a mess. But it's somehow turning out okay because these are fuzzy, and this is exactly what I wanted to achieve. But I will wet the page further still. And this time I want them to be, I'm going to change them from blue to like a brown color, because I want them to be, the colors to be warm, just like in here, warm at the foreground. And I'm thinking like maybe like a brown, reddish brown is probably the closest to like a warm color that mountains can have. So I will add, I can't just go straight red, there needs to be a transition. Indian red is a pretty nice, like a brownish red. So I will add it to my blue. It's turning out to be a bit of like a grayish color. I don't know if I'm okay with that, but we'll see. All right, let's just try. So if I just go, no, it's more gray really than anything, and it's also still a little bit too fuzzy. Yeah, definitely too fuzzy. There's not much I can do about that other than just overlay later. Should I overlay later? I don't know. Yeah, this definitely was too wet because there's just too much fuzziness. I like this layer, but this is definitely not what I was trying to do. I think I'm just going to wait for it to dry a bit and put some more darker mix in it and try to kind of make it a bit more detail. Maybe add even more of that Indian red, make it a bit more brown. Now the danger is that I will create this cauliflower effect, which it's quite easy to do. Let me just try to do a good mix. Don't think you can see my mix. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. It's wet in some places. Problem is it's not a cotton paper, so it's not handling water that well. Okay, I'm not too mad about that. I think that's kind of okay. Not what I envisioned, but hey, could be worse, I guess. Could always be worse. Right, while this is drying, I'm just going to add some detail to this cloud. I have her on my page. Can I pick it up? There we go. Managed. Something went right. Okay, so while this is drying, I think I'm gonna have to let this dry completely. Although, yeah, the transition will be quite stark. It's not going to be great, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do 2 layers just to try to even it out a bit. Anyway, I will add some shadow to the mountain here. To the cloud. I will use this same mix, but very, very pale. Like almost non-existent. Very, very pale. Like a shadowy grayish color. Although I'm trying and it seems to be, there's too much red in it. Okay, that's too dark. Right, I'm just gonna go for it. I might have to mop up some of it. But what I normally do is I just add a bit of a, oh yeah, way too dark, too much. It's okay. Kind of a bit of like a swirly. Then with a completely clean brush, clean but damp, soften the edge. It's definitely too dark, so I'm just gonna mop up some of it as well. It's not my day. It's not looking that great, and the light is terrible. I don't even know if you can see anything. Can you even see anything? Goodness me. Right, I'll add add a little bit of a darker one here at the bottom. And for this one, as pale as I can make it, just a shadow, just a touch. Okay, I'm starting to panic a little bit because it's not turning out very well. So I need to take a deep breath. It is what it is. Right, this is still wet, but almost dry. So if I go with a fairly dark mix, like a juicy one, let's just mix it here maybe. Add a little bit of blue, something like this, a little bit maybe. There we go. Let's see if I can somehow rescue this. I didn't mix enough of this color. Okay, hang on, because it should go a bit. It's not even looking like mountains. Oh god. Well, it's looking like something. There is a distance, right? I mean, my main goal was to achieve distance. So yeah, nearly there. Anyway, I'm gonna have to let this dry, and then I'm going to do last layer, like quite reddish, and we'll see. Maybe it won't be such a disaster after. Okay, let's try with the last layer. This one will be almost pure Indian red. Just maybe a little bit of this blue. And then after I do this layer, another thing that could help is adding details. So we can add details not just with the sharpness of the edge, but actually by creating shadows. Now this is not something I'm great at, but I do want to see if this will help this disastrous painting. But again, I'll have to let this dry because the details need to be crisp and with sharp edges. Right, I'm going to try now to add some shadow to the mountains, but the problem is I've not really done them very mountainy. There's no peaks or anything. There's only like tiny ones. I have no idea if I'll manage. So I'm mixing color that's a little bit darker, a little bit. I'm just adding blue basically to my Indian red, just to kind of make it a little bit darker. And I'm just going to do this like a zigzaggy line. And this is kind of, so the light would be coming from this side. I'm just going to try to, and this is not looking great, but I have no idea how to do this. Nope, it's not working, is it? Yeah, this just looks too fake. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't even know how to fix it. I don't know how to. Yeah, no, that's rather bad. But hey, you can watch me make mess and mistakes. The principle is there, it's just not working well. Right, shall we just try to kind of add some detail here? Nope. Okay, that didn't work, but hopefully that will at least remind me that you need to add details. God, this turned out awful. I really don't know how to paint mountains, do I? Anyway, that's it for today's lesson. Let's just do the satisfying thing, because even the most ugly painting will look better when we remove the tape. There we go. It's pretty bad, but hey, there is a reason for it to exist, to remind me of some of the principles. Clearly I need to practice mountains. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure yours turned out better than mine. And keep practicing. Don't worry if you make mistakes. I mean, I'm making fool of myself here, so you can't be that bad. Happy painting.